Hi everyone, this is Roy Pei, and today we have this very special series called AlevateX, Turning Crisis into Opportunity with Kay Chong. And Kay is actually from the immigration people, so you probably saw the link on her going live very soon, and Kay is now waiting on the other side, and I'm going to quickly introduce her very, very soon. So this whole entire series, starting today from the entire May, we have a lineup of entrepreneurs, friends, especially all my friends, and we are all from BNI, to really go through this whole series of turning crisis into opportunity and to share really positive vibes with everyone out there, especially if you are self-employed or even business owner. What are the challenges that you're facing? And of course, we are all human, we face some challenges during this crisis and how to overcome that. At the same time, also want to give you some ideas on how all of us able to not only do it better or even thrive during this time. Okay, so without further ado, let me bring Kay to the live, and just a quick introduction of Kay. Kay is actually the co-founder of the Immigration People, and she just started this business. And later, if you want to know why is one job that Kay was working in Singapore for during her first 6 years, and one of her very prominent job, you'd be happy to know that, please really ask her in the comment section. Okay, so I'm going to bring in Kay right now. Okay, hello Kay.
Hi Roy. Thanks
How
for
are
the
you
introduction.
today? Yes.
I'm doing well, thank you so much.
And hi Eugene. We have Eugene and Chun Ting, right? Also coming on live now. Thank you so much. And so share with us a little bit about what business are you in, Kay? Can you share with us?
Okay, so I'm in the business of helping my client to realize their dream to make Singapore their permanent home. Okay, so what does that mean, right? So basically, we specialize in handling Singapore permanent residency, citizenship application, and work pass application as well. Singapore is a really good place. A lot of people love to stay here. So for those who looking to retire, settle down in Singapore, so we help them to achieve their residency status.
Cool, that's very cool. And how do you get started this business?
Oh, it's a pretty long story. Like just now you mentioned, right? Previously I was a cabin crew, so a lot of people they don't understand like why from a cabin crew become an immigration consultant.
So cabin crew is what? You must explain a bit what is cabin crew, because not many people know what's cabin crew.
Cabin crew is like stewardess, is the Singapore girl. So I was a cabin crew with Singapore Airlines.
Yes, you must say Singapore Airlines, then people, Singapore Airlines. Yes. So actually Kay is actually in SQ. She's in SQ for 6 years, right? Before she quit her job.
Yes, that's right. Actually, for 5 years, I was working as a cabin crew with Singapore Airlines between year 2011 until 2016. And then because of pregnancy, so I have to, quit. And I was unemployed for a while, when I was pregnant. So I picked up some interesting skills when I was not flying, Then, I when my son turns about 7 months old, I got an opportunity to be an immigration consultant. And that is whereby I learned all the skills for about 2 years before I came out and started my own business.
Yeah, and I remember that was about the same time I first met you, because you just got into the job a few months, and then I've seen how you have grown over the 2 years, and now you are own business owner. That's really amazing. That's really amazing. So we have a few people online. We have Alan, Sam, Eugene, Richard. Hey, thanks for being online. And if you have any question that you want to ask Kay in person pertaining to her business and what she's doing during this crisis, you can put it down. Then later we can have a quick Q&A after that as well. Okay, so maybe the next question I want to ask you is, how's business so far for you? I mean, ever since you started this business, how's business so far for you?
Okay, so I'm in this business. I'm in this industry for 3 years. Okay, previous 2 years was working as just an employee, and the business we have yet to cross our 1 year anniversary. So
Right.
have been doing pretty good. Okay, in fact, right, honestly speaking, I have never thought that we can manage to grow to a 8-person team in less than 1 year time. So business
Wow.
was doing quite okay. Yeah, we are very, very grateful that I have so many clients supporting me, because for my business right now, we rely really heavily on referral. It's because of we provided a really good service and people like us, and they introduce people. And of course, when I have served more than 500 clients, I have a handful of approval cases, and these approved clients are the one who keep introducing their friends, and this is how we grow.
Yes, and I still remember 2 years ago when I first met you, I actually introduced one of my friend to you, and you just like a few months into the job, and I think you closed that deal, and
Yeah.
and from there can see your service with client. I think your interaction and your service with the client is really good. That's where they have the trust with you. Am I right to say that the 5 years being a cabin crew really helps you to polish that? You want to share a little bit about that?
Yes, definitely, because a lot of cabin crew, right, when they just came out and searching for a job, a lot of them is thinking like, oh, I think I have wasted my time flying. I have learned nothing. I have learned coffee, tea, or
See
me. That's
on
all. Actually,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, actually, it's not true. Yeah, for me, right, I really think that I've learned a lot when I was flying. I've learned how I can exceed my client expectation. So it's
Wow.
in me right now, because for us, right, okay, one of our Singapore Airlines like a mission is to exceed expectation of our passenger.
Mm, mm,
So right
mm.
now, I kind of like implementing it on my current business right now, how we can exceed expectation for our clients. So it's just a very simple thing. It's like when a client asks us a questions, okay, but we don't just answer that particular question, because sometimes when you just give a very simple answer, they will have other questions. So we go beyond what they are expected, is to give them a really much more comprehensive answer. So this is a very good example that I can give it to you. So this is how I implemented what I've learned from flying to my business right now.
Wow, that's awesome. And I would say that it's actually more than that. It's also anticipating what the client probably have in mind, and in terms of what are the concern, and you could give that upfront without them asking. That would be like a surprise, right? Like if you, I think in your cabin crew when you're flying, if someone is maybe this customer at this seat, maybe 43B, always like to drink coffee, and then before he wants to drink another coffee, you just ask if you want like another coffee, then you're like also surprised. So there's like exiting of expectation, right?
Yes, that's right. And of course, right, also I have learned to read body language pretty well. So it
Yeah.
does help a lot during the consultation itself. Yeah, that's right. So this is, I think that it's definitely not true that we have learned nothing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So to all the cabin crew ladies out there, if you are watching this right now, so do know that if you really work on the personal service and really work on I believe in the attitude and the mindset. Everywhere you go, you'll really thrive and you really do well, just like Kay, who she is today. And I still remember now, you said your business is still less than 1 year old, and just a few months ago, you're telling me that you are looking for salespeople, right? And then I was the
Yeah.
one that introduced you to the sales. So I kind of like helped you for your first, kind of like one of your first client. And then now
Yes.
one of your new team member. And I'm really happy for you, actually. Really, really very happy to see
Yes.
how you have grown over the last 2, 3 years. Yeah.
Actually, I'm very grateful that I have a great team supporting us, because without them, right, we are really nothing. So actually, she's here also. Hi, Ivy.
Yeah, we have a few of our people here, Hong Jing, Jason, Jack, yeah, all are here. Okay, so next, so if any one of you have any question you want to ask Kay, you can put in your comment and then we'll answer later on. Okay, our next question would be, given a circuit breaker, what are your views? After you hear like this whole COVID-19 circuit breaker and the layers and layers of implementation by the government. As an entrepreneur, and especially you just started your business like less than a year, when you hear all this, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Okay, so we are in the business of meeting people, right? So
Yeah.
it's very
Yes.
similar as a lot of other, industry like insurance and all that. So at the beginning, yes, indeed, I find like, oh, it's going to be tough, right? I usually do a face-to-face consultation. So what's
Yes.
gonna happen when a client have no idea how our office looks like? Will they be convinced with just looking at this square screen and my face like that, right? So
Yeah.
it's definitely for me, right, at the beginning, yes, it does bring a lot of worries. But afterwards, right, I think that very important things is that I think as an entrepreneur, right, it's really important to actually change your mindset. We know that this COVID-19, right, is not gonna end in 1st of June. Yeah, the circuit breaker is going to end in 1st of June, but COVID-19 is not going to end in 1st of June. And even with the circuit breaker is over, it doesn't mean that, people are getting immediately comfortable to meet up with you.
Yes,
You're gonna
exactly.
you're gonna expect a really, transition period, and it's gonna be pretty long. So for me, right, I think the entrepreneur mindset need to be like, okay, now the things has changed. Okay, I have to think of how I can turn my business online, right? So
Right.
so for me, I think it's an equalizer. What do I mean by equalizer is that for my industry, right, we have a lot of big players. Okay, so those big established company has been around for 5-6 years. Okay, I think this is an equalizer. It actually pull us not very far. Okay, it actually minimize the gap between us, because you have a very nice office. You might be paying rental like few hundred, few maybe more than $10,000 or $20,000. But right now, right, okay, it's no use anymore. You still have to go back to online consultation. So for me, I'm feeling quite hopeful. Okay, that you know my business will be able to do much better. Okay, even after circuit breaker, and yeah.
Yes, I think it's still, I think you mentioned a very good point whereby you say now, because your business, even though it's just less than a year, now it's like an equalizer with some of the big boys who's been in the business for many years. And it's just one thing that came to my mind right now is that is when exactly, as a small business or even a startup, the personal touch with your client is so important given this crisis. And you being the personality, the outgoing, the very warm, very cheerful, positive personality, I think at this point is really, I would say amazing, because like most people stay at home and then they were like so gloomy, and then they get to do a consult with smiling K, and then they'll be like, oh, maybe after half an hour the consult they feel much better, right?
It does help. It does help. Yeah. That's right.
So we have Aaron, we have Chong Sien, we have Zan online. Thank you, everyone. So if you have any question for Kay, please type in the comment, and we can ask her later on. Okay. So the next question, I think you answered a little bit. Maybe you want to share a bit more detail. So once you hear the news, so far till now, for about coming to 2 months with the circuit breaker, what are the challenges you face? With yourself and your team, because now you have an 8-man team. The business don't just feed yourself, your personal income, but you got to feed the whole team, and with the rental, and with all the expenses that's going on. So yeah.
I think the first challenge is what I've mentioned previously, which is no longer you can meet your clients. So you have to really give a very impactful online consultation in order to convince them, because there's no other factors that can influence their decision, no office, okay? So it's really depending on how you present yourself and present your company throughout this. We use a lot of Zoom consultation. So during this an hour sessions, okay, the knowledge that you put it up to the client influence the client in the decision making, okay, instead of other factors, most, I would say, superficial factors. Yeah, that's right. So this is the first challenge. And of course, working from home, okay, effective communication. That one is another challenge because last time me and my team, we used to be in a very in a enclosed area, like
Yes.
just I can reach out and I can ask any question. But right now, right, it's not easy to actually maintain the effective communication. So what we have done is that right now every morning we have a team meeting just to update each other what we have done yesterday and what is our upcoming task, to make sure that we know what's happening. Everyone is in the loop of what is happening. We call it a scrum meeting every morning. So this is the things that we have done, and these are the challenges that we have faced so far. And some of my staff, and even for myself, everyone knows that I'm a mother, so it's not easy
Right.
to work from home. I know there are a lot of you prefer to work from home, but not so much for parents actually, because almost every single meeting you will hear people knocking on the door, say, I want to come in, I want to join the conversation. So this is one of the challenge that we face as a working mother as well.
Yeah, and Kay have a very adorable son, and I remember a couple of our meeting, especially during the BNI meeting, the son would just sit beside her and say she want to be part of the meeting. And yes, maybe he'll pop by later, who knows, and want to be on Facebook Live right now. Okay, so before I jump to the next question, maybe Eugene have a question actually. Eugene asked this question. So, Kay, what's your toughest customer you meet as part of your business? So this is from Eugene.
Okay, so I think it's a very good question. I think it's more to I would say there's no toughest customer, but the situation is very tough to actually put it upfront to let my client know that your chances of getting approval is very low. I think
that's the toughest, right?
Yeah. Because for us also, right, one thing that we are really different from a lot of company out there is we are not typical sales consultant. At least for myself, I'm not a typical sales consultant. Yes, we want sales. Who doesn't want sales, right? But what we want to achieve also is integrity. Okay, that is our company's core value. So for us, right, we do reject clients. Okay, unlike many other company, they would just take in the case and say can apply, yes, can apply, because there's no one can guarantee 100% approval. So if it's not approved, then we will leave it and say, oh, it's because of ICA decision. So I'm in a pretty unique industry that we can do things like that. So for me and my consultant, right, what we want to do is we want to really be able to give a very truthful advice to our clients. So the toughest part of my business is to tell the client that I'm sorry, but your chances are pretty low, because I throughout 3 years I've served more than 500 clients, and I roughly know what type of profile have really low chance, or no chance to get approval. Yes. Yeah, so it's pretty hard to put it across to them. Yeah.
So I would say there's no tough client for your business, but the toughest thing is to tell them upfront, sorry, whatever you have in terms of the credential, we can't really help you. And you told me before that you even encourage a client to do give like free advice, to say you're supposed to do a certain part of the resume or profile like 6 months later, and then you come back and we can talk again, and that's where you potentially you can help them again. And I think as a client, they will definitely appreciate, right? That's how I think, I believe you get a lot more referral from here because of how genuinely you are in terms of really wanting to help them, right? Okay, so thanks, Eugene, for asking this question. And so the next question would be, okay, this one. Hang on. Okay, so what are the new action steps you have taken currently now that all the challenges? So what are the new things that help you given this COVID-19, and you say that now your industry, all the big players and yourself are on the same level playing field, and given now moving forward and after, which we know COVID, the circuit breaker is going to lift one day, probably, I don't know, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, like we don't know, right? But one day is going to be lifted, and what are the new actions that you have moving forward to really grow your business in the next 6 months or even 1 year from now?
Okay, so like I mentioned to you, the first thing that we have done is to have a really effective communication. So every morning we meet, and these things will be going on and on, even when the circuit breaker is lifted. Okay, so what we do is, I definitely, the government is not going to allow like 100% full capacity at your workplace right now. So this is a fact that we need to accept. So we have came out with we have already planned for the shift system to work. So it won't be the whole team in the office at a go. So given that, right, we still have to do our scrum online, daily scrum online. So and also, right, yes, circuit breaker over, we can conduct a seminar, okay, but it might be, no one showing up because people are still scared, right? So we are still doing a webinar. We have actually done a few sessions after the circuit breaker, implemented. We have done a few sessions, and it was very successful. So for us, right, one thing that we are different as well, we are literally like an open book, because for a lot of company out there, right, when you go for consultation, sometimes, they won't tell you like what is the suggestion to make your profile better, because they're afraid of people just taking the tips and run away. But for us, right, we are really like an open book. So that's why we do a lot of webinar sessions to educate people on how they can score better chance in applying for their PR and citizenship application. So we can foresee that we will still be conducting a lot webinar moving forward. So this is how we engage our clients, and I understand that it's very important to have online presence. Okay, online, people know you online, right? So we will continue, we hopefully more session of this type of sessions, and I have our company also have engaged in-house marketing people, and he will be in charge of taking care of the digital marketing for my company. So this is the action steps that we have taken.
Cool, that's very cool. And as you just said, right, in terms of the way you market now, actually a lot of businesses, through the traditional way, they like to keep things, they like to keep that 20% where, where they don't want to give to the customer. But actually in this DNA in the 2020, people really love educational marketing. So the more you give, the more value you give upfront, especially, actually people appreciate. Because even you give them all the steps, I don't think they'll implement. At the end of the day, there are still a big group of people that say, okay, since you gave me all these things and you are so good with it, means you know what you're doing. I myself pay you that small fee, save my time, while I focus and doing better in my job. I save my time, I give you that fee to really engage you, to really beef up my profile, make it better, so that I have a higher chance of really getting the PR permanent residence rather than me going through the hustle and all these things, right? So that's really, really awesome. Yeah, and I know Kay previously also very shy when it comes onto videos, and I've been telling her for like a year plus, you got to be upfront, especially now you're a business owner, you got to be the front. And then I think she's very brave this time to really do the first Facebook Live, and this entire series, she's actually the first person. Because I want to put her right up front.
First guinea pig.
No, you're very brave to do that. Yeah, to do that. Okay, I think Hong Jing have a question. We're going to end soon in about 5 minutes. Okay, so hanging there. So Hong Jing have a question. Is the webinar free? So maybe add on to that question. When is the next webinar? Since we are on this, you can tell the people listening to, and is it free?
Okay, so our webinar session is free. The next webinar, the in-house webinar that we have, because we do a lot of collaboration as well, but our in-house webinar is on 8th of May. Yeah, we will talk about COVID-19 and the impact on the current Singapore immigrations. Okay.
So you'll post on your Facebook page itself?
Yes.
8th of May, right? So
8th of May.
For anyone who's watching this video right now, if you have not liked Immigration Consultant K Chong's Facebook page, please remember to like that page. From there, you can know more about her updates and things like that.
I think a lot of helps can be free. I think right now it's a very good timing that we should support our friends, our fellow business owner friends, to actually like their Facebook and leave comments if you like their service. This is one of the way that help is free. Doesn't
Exactly,
cost anything.
exactly.
Yeah.
So that's why I created this entire series called AlevateX, turning crisis into opportunity, and we have 7 other entrepreneur friends that's coming up. The next one will be on Friday, 5:30 p.m. Friday. Hongjing is going to be the next one. Hongjing is in a very, very unique business, and I'll get him on Friday, 5:30 to share more. And I probably have one last question from Eugene again. We all both know Eugene, right? So Eugene, ask, other than word of mouth referrals, what else do you do for branding and marketing? For example, Facebook ads.
Okay, so because for us, right, we just started operation in September last year. So we started for about, I would say 4 to 5 months, really, doing referral business.
Yeah.
And BNI also, because BNI is also a really
BNI, you get quite a lot of referral. That's very good. Yes,
that's right. So through BNI. So
yes.
And after 5 months later, then we started to look into how we can get more business through online, through digital marketing. So we have been doing not Facebook ads, but Google ads. We engage a third-party vendor to assist in SEO and SEM. Okay. So the engagement has been like 1.5 months, has been close to 2 months now. And like I mentioned to you recently, we are very happy that we have a new marketing guy who just joined us. Okay, yesterday actually was his first day. So
wow.
We are
okay.
So we hope that we will have more leads coming in from different platforms. Yeah.
Yes, and it was amazing because there are many people out there now. Maybe they are really complaining about really unemployment because they've been released from the company because of this COVID, or they are having pay cut. But there are also companies out there that are still hiring. So even like Kay said, yesterday was his first day working. So despite crisis, I always believe there is always opportunity itself. And I think Sam also shared about this, supporting each other in terms of crisis. So that is really amazing. Thank you, Sam. So do you have any last thing you want to share? Kay, anything you want to say?
I just would like to maybe share about, like I mentioned to you, right? Being an entrepreneur, we really need to adapt and we really need to change. We know that the conventional ways of doing business is no longer applicable. So even if let's say you are slightly older and you're in your industry for quite a while now, it's still good to talk to other maybe younger business owner to actually
Yes.
get some ideas. Yeah, I think right now, like I mentioned, help is help doesn't mean that you have to engage me because it might not be applicable for you, right? So because I saw so many friends here who are already a
Yes.
local, right? So but help could be just giving out ideas, okay, on how we can actually overturn the entire situation and how we can actually transform our business.
Right, exactly. So we're going to end in a minute or so. Thank you everyone who is online to really support Kay. So Kay is actually from the immigration people. So for those who have not liked her Facebook page, please remember to like her Facebook page. Be in touch with her for the next webinar, which is 8th of May. Online is free. You can attend to know more and you can recommend friends to her. And personally, my name is Roy Pei. And if you want to know more and be in my mailing list, you can go to my website, roypay.com, royphay.com, and fill in your name and your email, and you're on my mailing list, and I can share with you more information about entrepreneurs, personal development, and marketing as well. So thank you, Kay, for being online. And thank you everyone who is online today. And do check out our next speaker in the series on Friday itself. Let me type it in on Friday, which is 5:30 p.m. exactly same time over here on this Facebook Live. Okay, and the next speaker will be Hongjing. He's in a very unique business, and you want to know what business is he in, and also very importantly, he's a very, very young entrepreneur. Okay, definitely younger than me, younger than K as well. So stay tuned and really learn what he has to say this coming Friday. Thank you, Kay. Thank you, everyone, to be online.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks to
Catch
all my
up
little
again.
friends. Bye.
Okay, bye.